All right, so my name is Sean Astin. I am a professional actor, and I've been a member of SAG AFTRA. Actually, it was just SAG when I joined since 1985. That is my formal title and raison d'être.
Very good. David, please give us
Right,
your
and
title.
I'm David Jolliffe. I'm a 52-year member, working actor of SAG and AFTRA. I'm currently a national board member. I'm also the second vice president of the Los Angeles local, a member of our negotiating committee, most senior member actually. I've done 8 negotiations. I've co-chaired it twice. But mainly I'm an actor, and that's what I've done for a living ever since I was 15 years old. Now 52 years. So yes, 67. So that's
And you
that's
don't
my
look a day over 45. If I do say
don't look a
so.
day over 90.
Yeah.
That's my little intro there.
Outstanding. And myself, Mike Moreno, actor, union member, and host of the Actor CEO podcast, and certainly very big advocate of actors taking their career seriously. And the moment we're in now is it's a very big moment, right? We're in, obviously, there's a lot going on in the world. And some of that leads us to this moment of having this conversation about where the union goes next in terms of contracts for actors. So I'd love to kick it off to you, Sean, and sort of give us some perspective of what got us to this moment to catch everybody up to speed so that we know what's happening with the contract negotiation and things like that. And then what we're looking to sort of move forward to and why it's important to us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Nick. Okay, so there's a regular process that happens that if you paid your dues and you're a working actor, you most of the time don't even really need to be aware of, but it exists, and that is the contract. So we're working under a contract that we've negotiated with producers, and that it provides for basic minimums and basic protections and lots of other there's lots of other points in the deal. Every 3 years, that contract is negotiated anew. So that's where we're at right now. Basically, for 7.5 weeks, just at the beginning of the COVID experience, our Screen Actors Guild, our SAG AFTRA negotiators, went into a process with the AMPTP, the producers group, and they spent 7.5 weeks and negotiated an agreement. And so then what the process calls for is, okay, the national board has to vote on whether they think the agreement that was reached is good or it's not sufficient. In this case, the national board voted to approve it. So that's 2 steps. The third step is it then goes out to the national membership. We have 160,000 members, and every dues, anyone who's paid up, with their dues, who's current, is allowed to vote in the election. It's not an election, in the ratification of this agreement. So there's only 2 options. You vote yes, go with the negotiated agreement, or no, don't go with the negotiated agreement. If you vote no, what happens is it has to go back to the leadership team, back to our own leadership team, and back to our own negotiators, and they have to come up with they have to acknowledge that the membership wasn't happy with this and go back to the bargaining table, so to speak, and try to negotiate better terms. So there's no drama in the sense that this is just kind of regularly perceived thing. The drama is that if you look over time, the last 10 years, but even the last 20 years, the contracts for actors have gotten less and less and less favorable in a lot of different ways. And so at this point, myself as a member and Mr. Jolliffe will speak to it in a minute as one of the senior officers in the union and in the local. That's the other thing I would just set up here is that the national membership is the governing body of all the locals. There are 25 locals. Right. The largest local is the Los Angeles local, and it has over half the membership of the entire 160,000 union, and it brings in over 50% of all the revenue that comes into the general fund and to our pension fund and like that. So it is a massive organization within the organization. And I'm an LA local member. The LA local board voted overwhelmingly not to support this contract. So and the way I look at, you've basically got this duel between the national between the national board and between the local, and then all the other locals who want to who support it, and they fall on either side of the issue. So the this does not have to be contentious. This does not have to be argumentative. This is part of the process that's been established. It's not a bad faith thing to say no if you vote it down. It's part of the process. You say no, somebody comes out and says, here's the deal. Do you like it? You go, no, we're not willing to live with it. And it goes back and forth. It's just complicated because there's 160,000 people who might want to speak into the issue. So David is an expert with every minute detail of the contracts and can tell you what the basic issues are. But that's it. We're in a moment where a contract has been achieved and voted on by the national membership, and now the rest
by
of
the national board.
National board, pardon me, and now the membership, at large, gets to vote it up or down. So that's where we're at.